Well, I wasn't ready for that, Phil. Okay, no, keep going. We're playing on your timeline today.
This is fine.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is fine here.
Except for the Hartford Whalers.
Aww.
Next on Ugly Thirds.
Ba 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 boom. Ba ba ba.
The Cash Bonanza, Phil.
Ba 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 ba. Welcome back to Ugly Thirds, sports fans. Today's topic is, I can't talk because they're not letting me to, the Hartford Whalers, a Jersey memory lane story. Gentlemen, take it away. Gentlemen. I said it twice now if you didn't
Usually
notice.
when I hear gentlemen, it's you need to stop acting like that, or
Can you leave?
What were you
Be
thinking?
more of a jerk. Okay, continue. Bunch of jerks. Anyways,
Hartford. Can I start with a story?
Start with a story.
I was up in Hartford several years ago, and we were downtown Hartford, walked past the arena. It's not the Civic Center anymore, but it is what it is. I can't remember what it's called. And I want to see something Whalers related. Like I want to go in there and see like a little museum or something along those lines. And the arena's closed. I'm pulling on the door. I see somebody knock, and they open the door and say, I'm from out of town. I'm hoping to see something about the Whalers. And is there a museum in there? He goes, no. There's not. There's like a little plaque or a picture on the wall, but there's nothing. There's no memoriam. There's no. This is what hockey in Hartford used to be. There's nothing about the Hartford Whalers, according to that gentleman in that arena anywhere.
I mean, they've had the Wolf Pack for how long? They had the Whale for 3 years.
Yeah.
It's a small market, and there was a real interesting thing with the Whalers for a long time until very recently. Hartford, Connecticut owned the trademarks to the team. So when the team moved, they retained the trademarks, and they didn't allow anyone to make throwbacks or sell merch. Like, unless it came from Hartford, Connecticut, and they weren't producing it, you couldn't get it. Right. Which is why there were no Hartford anything until very recently. And I don't know how it changed. Like, there wasn't a news story or anything about it, but now we have things like Phil's Reverse Retro.
Sure. To me, it was an indication that when they gave Carolina that opportunity to make that, it was an indication to me that they ain't gonna make hockey in Hartford anytime soon. Like that's a thing of the past.
And even with all the talk of expansion now, for better or for worse, Hartford mentioned putting together a thing, but that was it. That was, I think the mayor was just talking at
PR campaign more than anything. Yeah, so, I get it.
But everyone loves them. Everyone loves them.
Why? Why do people love the Whalers?
I think there's certainly a lost cause thing there. You know, it's an upstart. We in this country love a rebel, right? Anyone who's rebelling against something, we love that. And to be a small market, you know, you're an underdog. What an interesting logo from a name from a bygone era. Whalers, like people who hunt whales, like that. But at the same time, it's not like it's an old-timey name that wouldn't exist now, but also isn't patently offensive.
Fair.
Like, I'm sure it offends certain groups, but it isn't, like, on its face fully offensive. Right. So, it's a good color scheme. It's a good logo.
That's the one for me.
That's
everybody knows the green. You have Dallas. They have green. It's not the same green. Minnesota has a green. It's not the same.
Yeah, green is underused, or at least everyone says it's underused. Then you're looking like, well, it's not really underused. It's not like purple, but
the
like,
Whalers stand out.
Yeah,
like you see it across the arena, you see it across the room. It's a showstopper.
So, the Hartford Whalers started out as the New England Whalers in the World Hockey Association. With actually not this. This is their second look. Phil, I have a slide if it works. With, I think, an excellent look.
That's fantastic.
They had these, and I was going to buy one, but then they were gone when I went to go buy one.
Yeah, so the white one they only wore for 1 year, then switched to a white version of the one I hung up. But that green looks outstanding.
Yep.
I would love to get my hands on one of those. They were the New England Whalers because Hartford, Connecticut doesn't like how much name recognition did it have then? I don't know.
At that time,
At that time, especially. So,
it's that city in between New York and Boston.
right. And I think they were trying to cash in on some Boston in the World Hockey Association. So New England fit that bill.
Sure.
But you can come back to us, Phil. It's an excellent look. They wore that for their first, I want to say, 3 years in the World Hockey Association before switching to this look with a matching white, dropping the New England, keeping the W with the harpoon in it. Phil, you want to get a close up? Harpoon.
Harpoon. Good brewery. One up there in Boston.
Harpoons and
nice.
no cables.
And I'm gonna maybe
and the debut of the dumbest alternate logo in my opinion, not because of what it is, but because of what it is on what team name it is. Because again, hockey is a what?
Is a whale,
and this team is the what?
The way.
And what do whalers do?
Wow. We should probably flag this for not safe for work. If the kids
I mean,
found
like
this out, if the kids understand what this means,
they need to know.
They need to know.
They need to know.
Who's
So when they joined the NHL, one of 4 teams to do so, with Quebec, Winnipeg, and I always forget one, Edmonton. Thank you. They joined the 1979-80 season, and they immediately switched their look. Now, granted, some of this is Carolina throwbacks because we don't have the whites for whatever reason. But the logo adapts, it changes, and it's brilliant.
Yep. Simple, clean.
But I think that's part of why it works so well. Phil, you want to zoom? You're deep in thought.
I was trying to find something and we're not working.
I mean, I'm sure you could share with the group.
I'm zooming on.
Zoom in on. So out just a little. No.
Other way.
There you go.
Perfect. Too far.
So, okay, the obvious, we have a whale tail, right? That is for the whales involved. It is a W, which I think everyone sees. But how long did it take you to see this H in the negative space? Far longer than I care to admit.
18 seconds ago. 100% 18 seconds ago.
Wait, you really had no idea?
Never noticed it. Never.
I thought I was
it.
really late developmentally for not.
No,
yeah,
no. This is for me. This is the arrow on your gas gauge pointing to the side that the gas tank is actually on level of. I can't believe I missed that.
And there were I've seen concept sketch designs where like there were harpoons or there was like a trident on top, and they said like no, the whale needs to be a part of it, less violent, which I guess Pucky helps, but. Like the brilliance in this,
wow!
It flows, it balances, it's got hidden designs, it's got obvious designs. Like everything about this is just and when what is now Aesthetics, which reports now on YouTube and his website is slowly disintegrating. Phil, you can come back from Jersey. You are really into whatever you're looking up.
Damn.
Really into it.
Hey, welcome back, Phil.
When Aesthetics first started out, was an NHL tournament of logos. It was just, okay, let's have you use polling in the internet and have a bracket of what's the best NHL logo. They did current logos. I don't think St. Louis won. Oh God, well there's an error.
Keep going,
keep
going.
Oh God,
going,
oh God.
Going. You're fine. You're fine.
Am I okay? Everything? I'm fine. Fine. Okay. I think the Blues won initially. Then they had for defunct logos, Whalers won it.
Oh,
and then they had defunct versus modern logos, Whalers won it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hands down.
It's the color, it's the logo, it's everything.
It's brilliant.
An entire arena filled with green jerseys. Like, how cool would that be? Nobody's doing that these days.
Doing that.
Nobody. You white out for the playoffs, that's cool. But if you had Hartford back in Hartford and you did a green out, like, come on.
Now, Phil does have a note card with some of these eras for this.
So, reading your handwriting here, it says angled sleeves, green bottom. It's from 1979 to 1985.
Okay, so the sleeve stripes were angled upwards for the initial NHL run, as you can see. It is the same thing on the greens. Not that green, this green. That you have to note that exists, and they did replicate that. Carolina, with the most recent one, included the green bottom. And this throwback also has the green bottom below the stripes. Okay, Phil, keep going.
Stripes shift down.
Ugh.
So this would lose. There would be white at the bottom,
And that's from 19. Go ahead.
and then this, the white stripes would go. Oh, like this green stripe just disappeared. Just cut it off. These shift down to all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
And that was when
89 and 90, so 1
Okay.
year. Then straight stripes.
So these would straighten out.
1990, 92. And then you had the blue from 92 to 97.
And you didn't grab your white jersey that I need. But it's okay.
You didn't. Oh,
You have the
okay.
room?
Yeah, the room. You want to go grab? So Phil, why don't you talk while he slinks away?
What am I talking about?
Look at that leg. What the new era, the last era, was when? Would you look away from your? What are you doing? Your taxes over there?
Last era?
Yeah.
92, 97. I just read that.
Did
you write something else on it?
No. Okay, so the blue era was 92 to 97.
I'm
Don't
reading
wait-
the
don't
cards
wiggle
you
a card
gave
at
me.
You wiggle a card at me.
I just did.
This is the best we've ever done. So this last era, which Phil said was when?
92 to 97.
They add gray to it, which
It takes away. That's why it takes away from the negative space. It grays it out. Sorry for lack of a better term.
yeah, I mean, look, it does pull it together because, like, when you would buy, they were actually two separate pieces, and I'm sure there are ones that are like poorly manufactured where it's off a bit or it's moved. Like, I bet it was a pain. I bet it was.
Sure.
And with these, the color changes, right? You invert the colors to contrast with the jersey. I'm sure that was also a pain. And so by doing this, they save some money. They make it a little more self-contained, but it does muddy it a little bit.
A little bit.
So, I mean, the striping is excellent though. I do like. I don't like the logo with the gray. I do like this. I mean, if they would have just taken this and maybe put a gray outline on it, like instead of blue, you gray it or something, I think it would have been fine. Or you just don't touch the logo. I mean, the Blackhawks have how many colors in their logo that aren't on their jersey? Like, why not?
That makes sense.
So, this is the era that's usually most remembered. I was shocked to learn Ron Francis never wore one of these. I almost bought one that was a Ron Francis blue, and I had to look and like, no, he didn't. Ian, talk about it. If you were to rank them, what's your favorite? What era is your favorite?
The era.
Yeah.
That late '80s look for me. That's the one. Like that is, and not to say that it changes dramatically from the late '80s to when they leave Hartford, but that for me is, yeah.
Let's look at these numbers for a second, since you actually have customized.
Yes, sir.
I mean, look, I do love how this pops, and it didn't before. And again, I know this is Carolina, but well,
no, I like the blue. I think the blue stands out. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about. I mean, look, I did go to Mercyhurst, and it all looks Whalers-esque, so like maybe that's why it sticks with me. But
I don't know. That late '80s Hartford Whalers, like the brass bonanza, you know the foggy goal horn, like there was so much there. Even if you weren't a Whalers fan, you always enjoyed looking at the Whalers.
It was a tiny hockey town with a great unique name, a very local name, but a very cool name.
Yep.
A cool look, an amazing logo. If only they could have kept selling tickets. Like I don't know what happened in Hartford, but they just never found the real success they needed to.
Phil, back to you.
Right. So I have some interest in what I've been looking up. The team sold in 2018 to the current owners, Carolina.
That makes sense.
That's when the jersey came out.
Yep.
Right after that. The previous owner was what is his name? Peter Kamenos. He had the team in 1984 and moved it. Such a hatred for the Whalers. Lied about figures. Threw a parade in Connecticut after winning one playoff game or one playoff series just to mock. There was such a hatred for that jersey that when he moved it, wanted nothing to do with the team, nothing about Connecticut, unretired numbers
Yes, I remember Rick Lay's number 2 was retired, and then it was worn. Number 2 was worn in
So
Carolina.
that's why
Oh, and
nothing.
What's his face went off on it?
Yes.
Boston guy.
Jack Edwards.
Yes.
He just retired. So nothing to do with it. So then the team was sold to the current owner in 2017-18. And that's when the
timeline tracks.
That's when the jersey
Timeline
came
tracks.
out.
Okay.
So that's kind of when
so
that's what I was
in-
trying to look at. Tom Dundo owns it now.
I'm not going to apologize for mocking you throughout, but I appreciate you looking that up.
That's good research. But regardless of whether or not it was poorly managed or the team did poorly on the ice, there was a look. Aesthetically, there was a look that is very nostalgic for people. I didn't realize the Whalers' look was so hated in Hartford, but I imagine times have changed because
that generation is mostly moved on and nostalgia has set in.
Yeah.
And yeah. Wait, look, that's the perfect. I hope you guys sound off in the comments what Whalers memories you have. If you're from the area, tell us what you remember.
If
how
there's
you
a museum
in
in that arena and I was lied to because, I understand I was very aggressive when I talked to that man. He probably deserved.
Settle down, guy.
And what happens because remember last year the mayor of Hartford was really insistent.
Campaigning.
Just talking.
Yeah, but like, what happens if a team does eventually come back?
I'd be sure. Well, it'll be the Whalers. I mean,
yeah, but Carolina owns the rights.
Yeah, but if the Winnipeg Jets came back, I would. There might need to be a deal behind closed doors, but they're gonna be the Whalers. Anything but the Hartford Whalers, would not be accepted.
The Jets moved to
Phoenix.
Does Phoenix own all their stuff?
I guarantee it they do.
Which now is Utah.
Right.
Well, but for the next 5 years, the promise of putting a team is going to be
and that's
up to him. He's got to buy the land and build the arena.
It has to be only him too. That's a different.
But the Arizona Coyotes are not dead per se.
Right.
They're dormant.
Hiatus.
We could do a whole video.
Dormant.
Yes.
Yes.
And on that bombshell,
Hiormant.
it's time to end.
Did I get off camera? Did I leave? Phil?
I'm John. He's Shrems. Phil, take us out of here.
Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notifications when we have new videos posted. And come back for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
The real shame is that people couldn't get to see you trying to mime a bell and failing to do it.
I don't blame him for not letting me into the arena.